Hello and welcome to Bloke on the Range. Now, something that's interesting aside from just firearms themselves is the sort of accessories ecosystem in which they exist. And I ordered this old style SA80, L85 cleaning kit online, and I was expecting it to come, I mean, it said good condition, but these always end up drenched in oil from leaky oil bottles and so on. And imagine my surprise when it turned up absolutely mint with its label on it. So I thought this needs an unwrapping video because it's not every day you get a mint thing like this, and I'm intrigued to find out what they were actually supplied with initially. I mean, the ones we came across, I mean, I wasn't a regular, I wasn't even in the proper TA, I was just a University Officer Training Corps peon, for my everlasting shame. But anyway, the ones of these we had were pretty nasty and full of sort of bent and manky brushes and so on. So yeah, I don't have an SA80 myself. The one I've used in videos so far belongs to someone else who brought it to the range for me to show and shoot. What I do have is a Chartered Industries of Singapore SAR80, which I mean, it's based around the same system. It's another AR-18 derivative. So to show how various things work, I have this out of shot along with its bolt carrier group. So before we break the seal, just following the crowd here because it does seem to work. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please consider doing so. Please click on subscribe and make sure that the notification bell is on so that any stuff and nonsense that we put up, which we usually make public on a Friday, you can get at it very, very quickly. So please consider doing so. And the channel is supported by Patreon, and there's a link at the end and a link in the description for anyone who would care to support the channel financially in that manner. So that being said, it's tied up in a very neat little bow. So let's see. I mean, it's hardly breaking the seal on the tomb of Tutankhamun here, but blank. Let us see what is in here. So, okay, so what we've got in this Cordura tool roll here is a muzzle cover that just goes on like that. And what you often see people doing with these was drilling a hole there with part of the Combi Tool and sticking a bit of paracord in. Nothing down the bottom of that. The world's worst oil bottle. It's a single compartment oil bottle. Supposedly, well, there were never any funnels or anything to fill them, so they ended up just sort of slushing oil all over the place. So you've got a brush on this side for slathering stuff in nice lube, and a Pori spout here that always leaked. In here, what you'd also find, and I don't have any, is some Scotch-Brite. It was often purple, but sometimes green, and that is literally the abrasive impregnated plastic sort of wool type stuff that's on the back of a kitchen sponge. The British Army seems to have liked issuing abrasives a lot to clean rifles, and a lot of them have the finish removed as a result. And also patches. See if I can get a picture of the ones issued for 5.56, which were sort of strips marked to be used on the pull-through, which we'll get to in a minute. Now, if we look at this side, we have a chamber brush. This is slightly different to the ones we were issued. We've got a bronze scrubby brush, which has not survived too well being rolled up like that. We have a bore brush. We have a pull through, get to in a minute. We have a Combi Tool, which is actually quite well designed system. A rod handle. In fact, the ones we were issued had a folding rod handle, so this is not actually quite the same set I'm used to. We have a chamber and barrel extension brush. We have a paintbrush to get crap out of stuff. and then 2 sections of rod. So, now it was one of the lessons learned of the first Gulf War, and others was that people would supplement their cleaning kit with their own cleaning materials. I mean, I supplemented mine with some basic off-the-shelf gun solvent because the oil they issued, while it was a really good lubricant, it had practically no cleaning properties whatsoever, and it made life much easier to have some 009 or Hoppies or something like that, which I had to keep away from the DS because they didn't like seeing it. But it made my rifle cleaning rather more easy than just scrubbing the crap out of everything with abrasives, to be honest. So, I'd never actually seen one of these before because it wasn't in the kits we had, and in fact I wonder if that's not, rather than a chamber brush, I wonder if that's not actually for the gas cylinder, and unfortunately the gas system on this is different, so I can't show that. This is for general scrubbing of carbon off of stuff. This can be put on the pull-through, so let's take the pull-through out. I believe in America these were just called a string or something. Long tradition of pull-throughs in the British Army rather than cleaning rods. So what you've got basically is a weight with a female threaded end and a jag, and you could put one piece of 40 by 40 millimeter cleaning patch through here, drop this down the barrel and then pull it through. Any more than 40 by 40 and it would get stuck and you need an armourer. It's a complete pest. These are surprisingly strong. Very rarely saw them break, and even the ones we had as cadets at school in the Cadet GP cleaning kit, they seem to survive pretty well. But what you can do is you can put the ball brush on here, lube it up, and then use the jag as a weight and then pull the ball brush through to loosen up nasty carbon in the barrel, which is a massive improvement on the gauzes they used to issue with the Lee Enfields and SLRs. Now, put that down there. Let's go across to this. It's a 3-part rod. It's not very long. I mean, if you wanted to rod out a whole barrel, you could team up with someone else and make a whole rod, but why would you really want to? The point of this is that you can put the chamber brush on, and then you've got more than enough length. I mean, this is almost certainly shorter than an SA80 upper receiver, but you can see that goes in there, and then to clean between the splines, this part of the brush does its work. And those familiar with AR-15, M16 cleaning kits will recognise this, because these will get in there nicely and you can twiddle them around. I'm not going to do that right now. And you can see that the brush is already getting a bit damaged. These got damaged so quickly. I'm really intrigued now because this is actually different to the ones we had. I'm intrigued as to its era, but I'm not seeing any date markings or anything. So if you know, please leave a comment, because that would be very intriguing. Now, the problem with jointed rods is often that they get jammed up, particularly if you've been going at it into the chamber quite nicely. And what you've actually got here is flats, so that you can use that part of the Combi Tool as a wrench to get them on and off if required. Now, the interesting bit of the cleaning kit, for me at least, is the Combi Tool, because it's actually quite well designed, and we were expected to keep it in our top right breast pocket because you need it for a gas stoppage drill to turn the gas regulator, but it's in 3 parts. The first is actually a drill bit. This was used to ream the inside of the gas plug, and also with a bit of Scotch-Brite on the end to trash the crown so that the shiny ring could be seen. And on an SA80, the drill bit can actually be used as a pin push for getting the pin out, but it's the wrong size. The Singaporeans have gone for a smaller pin. This here is to ream the inside of the gas cylinder. Just basically brute force, bit of oil, brute force and ignorance, and just scrape at it for hours until it comes out. And in fact, if we just check, that diameter is comparable. So yes, I think that this one must be for that. It makes me wonder whether this isn't a later one than the kits we had. I mean, my era was 1999, and a couple of years after that, so I suspect we had earlier ones, and then this is later, but anyway. And then here you've got all the tools for adjusting the gas regulator. It's a screwdriver to get at the screws on the stock and the butt plate. You've got for adjusting the sights. That little notch there, that little pin there, sorry, is for cleaning crap out of the holes on the gas regulator. And then that is a little wrench. I can't for the life of me think of where you'd use that on the rifle itself, but it certainly works for the cleaning rod sections. Now, the kits were not easy to carry. They're slightly bulky. They don't really fit in a pocket. We used to carry them against instructions in one of the right-hand ammo pouches, because the manual of arms on an SA80 is left-handed. Also, your magazines, and we've got 4, were in the left pouches, leaving the right pouches for pyro and the things we didn't get. So we tend to roll it up with its patches and stuff in it, and stuff it into one of the right-hand ammo pouches. If caught, we just have to take it out, but it was like, where on earth are you meant to put this? Because in your kit, there was not actually that much space. And this here, you can see how bulky this is, and that's without cleaning patches or Scotch-Brite in it, and like acres of Scotch-Brite were issued. So, yes. Now, the latest iteration of the cleaning kits, I haven't got one yet. I got overbid. It's even bigger, but it can do every single current weapon system. It can do all the 7.62, so GPMG and sharpshooter rifle. It can do the 5.56. It can do the 9mm pistols, and it's generally a much better thought out cleaning kit by HK, rather than this rather substandard thing here. So anyway, I hope that was at least vaguely interesting. This is proper nerdery here, so thanks very much for watching. Thank you very much to those who support the channel, and see you again sometime. Bye.